up on this edition of Cogeco News, a tragic ending to missing persons case. There is a high fire risk in our area. And in sports, we check out badminton at the Granite Club. Welcome inside the Your TV studio for this Tuesday edition of Cogeco News. Truly local, my name is Clark Heipel. First tonight, the body of 48-year-old Stephen Altman has been recovered by authorities after the North Bay man was deemed missing by police on Saturday. While the investigation is ongoing, police say foul play is not suspected.
An individual was reported missing on last Friday, July 3rd. Unfortunately, he was found yesterday afternoon, deceased. There is no foul play suspected, but the investigation continues on behalf of the coroner's office with a postmortem examination scheduled for later today.
There was police activity around Chippewa Creek area. Is that what's related to this incident?
No, that's a separate incident that's currently being investigated at this time.
And are you able to specify where this individual was found?
It was in a secluded part of the city, a wooded area, but we're out of privacy concern, we're not going to release where that location was.
3 individuals in the North Bay Parry Sound District have completed their self-isolation period after previously testing positive for the coronavirus. With that in mind, we go now to the information released by the local health authority at 3 p.m. on the 7th of July. 445 tests completed over a 24-hour period. We're now over 15,000 people tested, or 15,000 tests. No word if people were tested multiple times. Cases in our district, 37 and 1 fatality. At this current hour, the fire rating is high, meaning diligent efforts need to be made to prevent the spread of forest fires. The North Bay Fire Department is keeping a very close eye on the weather forecast when deciding whether or not to implement a fire ban.
We're really monitoring the conditions right now. So since I sent out that safety reminder, the fire rating has already changed. So on the weekend we were at a low in the North Bay, but as of this morning the MNR's upgraded it to a high fire rating, including North Bay. So the chiefs in Callander, Nipissing, Ferris, and myself, we've been discussing and monitoring the situation closely. We've had the past week that has been very hot. We've got another week of really hot forecasted weather. We do have some thunder showers in there, but they're pop-ups, so we kind of need a sustained rain to help with that forest fire rating.
What do people need to be cognizant of when burning, when there isn't a fire ban on, but still very favorable conditions for wildfires?
Well, what we're asking people right now is, depending what municipality you're in, is burn smaller than what your permit would allow you. So have a more controlled fire. Use your spark arresters. Make sure that brush and dry stuff, dry things around your campfire are removed or wetted down. So if there are sparks, you don't catch a fire. Always have a source of putting out the fire. Never leave it unattended, and ensure when you finish for the evening that it is totally extinguished.
When you mentioned pop-up thunderstorms, the rain can be intense and heavy, but short-lived. So why does that not help with reducing the fire risk?
Well, it reduces it temporarily, but once it gets absorbed in, the ground just dries up very quick, and the ground can become just like tinder. So we're very concerned, and one of the other reasons that we look at fire bans is that on Sunday there were 6 new fires in the region. This morning there was MNR reported 8 more new fires in the Northeast region. What we want to try to do is reduce the impact from man-made fires, so the MNR can just concentrate on the natural fires caused by lightning. So that could be another reason if MNR resources start to get stretched, that we may look. It helps with our decision to imposing a fire ban.
If an area resident wants to know if they can burn and what limitations are in place, where should they go first?
Well, you can go to our website for North Bay Fire, or you can call our customer service department, or call our fire prevention division. And that would be the same, call your local municipality if you're in Callander, Nipissing, or East Ferris as well.
Does the Ministry of Natural Resources website override everything else?
Well, no, right now to burn in North Bay is you're burning under the municipal bylaw. So the Forest Fire Protection Act allows the city to have a bylaw that controls burning. If you're not within the municipality and you're in the Crown land, then you must abide by the Forest Fire Protection Act.
And as you may have seen or heard over the past hour to hour and a half, we did have an intense rainfall that was short-lived. Will we have sustained rain? Greg will have that answer in the weather forecast a little bit later on. Back to the police service. Cycle smart. That advice could save yourself from serious injury, even death. The North Bay Police want cyclists of all ages to follow the rules of the road to ensure the safety of the rider as well as others using the roadway.
There's two areas we want people to look at. Number one is the equipment. Make sure if you're of appropriate age, you have to have a helmet on. Make sure it's a good quality helmet, because when you fall, you're looking at a potential concussion. So that's why they made it mandatory for young people to have helmets on, and we encourage all people to wear a helmet when they're out bicycling. So there's the equipment issue. Look over your bike. Make sure that your chain air on the tires is proper. And then the other aspect is the rules of the road. You're out on the road. You don't have to have a license, but you have to act properly in conditions with the traffic. So make sure you're riding with traffic. There's a lot of excellent websites out there. One would be just go to the Ontario government website, and they have a lot of really good cycling rules for everybody. We should all be aware of those.
Just from personal experience, I came across someone on a bike biking on the curb lane of the wrong side of the road. How dangerous is this?
Well, that's exceptionally dangerous, especially when you get into the big, the heavy traffic areas like Lakeshore or Trout Lake Road. Let's keep in mind downtown North Bay as well. There's not a lot of maneuvering roads down, or maneuvering room down in that part of the city. There actually is a bylaw in the city of North Bay where you're not supposed to be bicycling on the sidewalks. That there is discretionary tactics taken by our officers out there. However, when people know the rules, we ask that you abide by them.
Second instance that I saw, a woman on a bicycle biking in the lane closest to the center lane in a 2-lane road, Gormanville, blocking traffic. How dangerous is that?
Well, that's dangerous. You should stay to the right. Obviously, you're not traveling at the same speed, and obviously a vehicle is much bigger, and let's face it, there's braking distances as well. Although there are rules that maybe you can be in a certain area, we ask people to use common sense as well, especially you get out onto the bigger roadways when there's a transport that weighs 100,000 pounds. Their stopping capacity is very, very low. So you have to use common sense to guide your course of action as well. And there's nothing wrong. If you want to go from North Bay to Callender, there's excellent biking trails. So take a few minutes and plan out your trail. With the Cape Paceway, it makes for excellent riding.
And sticking with bike news, do stay tuned to Cogeco News over the coming days. We will preview an upcoming bicycle rodeo that aims at teaching kids ages 5 to 10 all the rules around bicycling, and those events to take place later this month at both Lee Park and the Steve O'Michel Sports Complex. Due to the coronavirus pandemic, space is limited and sign up is starting momentarily, so stay tuned. We'll get that information to you tomorrow as space is limited and it's sure to fill right up. We have reached break time here on this first segment of Cogeco News on this Tuesday. Do stay tuned. Capital Center News and more after this. Welcome back to Cogeco News. Officials with the Capital Center say there won't be any summer camps through the arts and entertainment venue this year. It's another long line of hits for the entertainment hub during the spring and summer thanks to COVID-19. But they aren't giving up the ship just yet.
I think a lot of different arts organizations, especially ones like us that are not-for-profit and charitable arts organizations, we felt the impact of COVID-19 tremendously.
For arts organizations like the Capital Center, it takes months, sometimes years, to book acts in advance. Now they have to cancel almost all of those acts and rebook them if they can. And of course, they've had a couple of restart dates canceled already.
Right now, we are working with a moving target. We have no idea when we're going to be moving into phase 3, which is what we've heard is going to be when venues like ours might be able to open. But even then, it all depends on what the restrictions are when we get to that point. Right now, we're at groupings of 10 people. But we might not get to a point where it's fiscally responsible for us to open up unless we get to somewhere around the 200 or 300 person mark. So we're still waiting, and we're going to continue to keep following directions from our public health unit.
You could be in a scenario where you might be able to open and have a great act coming, but you might have to sit people 2 or 3 seats apart, and that's not profitable and that's not sustainable, is it?
Absolutely, but we're looking at all different types of scenarios, and everything is on the table at this point. So yes, we could do social distance seating. We might go to a point where the artist might be contracted to do 2 performances in a night to try and make it financially possible. So right now we're looking at all different possibilities.
You've done some alternative performances. Of some sort. Will they continue?
Absolutely. We've had tremendous success over the summer so far and through the spring with our virtual calendar of online events, and that is going to continue throughout the summer. Currently, what we have planned for the next couple of months, in addition to our normal virtual programming, we have cultural dances from a lot of our different local cultural groups, but we're also doing this new initiative called the Shared Benefits Summer Concert Series, where we're asking for donations for these performances that feature local artists, and then we are actually splitting the donations with the artists equally, 50-50.
There's also a drive to get longtime donors to contribute to the cause and maybe get some new donors to help out with finances.
At this point, we've been able to proceed with operations as best as we can through our granting processes as well as relief efforts from the government, but we're not quite sure how long we're going to be able to do this, so we're trying to adapt as every arts organization is.
Now to something that's out of our coverage area, but out of this world, so we had to show you. A Milton, Ontario high school student is the only Canadian to get into one of the coolest internships with NASA. Now, in order to get into this program, you have to be an American citizen, but lucky for Shanzeh Sayal, she was born in the U.S. and had kept her American citizenship even after her family moved to Canada when she was just 8 years old. Our Melissa Candelaria from Halton News caught up with Shanzeh to get more details on how she got in with NASA.
Oh, do you see there? Well, hello. My name is Shanzeh Sayal, and I'm so excited to be applying for the NASA Students Internship.
This is Shanzeh Sayal, a Bishop Reading High School student in Milton who was one of only 45 students to get into the NASA SEAS internship program, a program that sees hundreds of applications every year. The internship began in May. Sayal says she wasn't sure if the program was going to even happen because of COVID-19.
So when I got in, I was so excited. And I saw that it started in May. I had to do just an introduction, just a small, short, 1 page about who I am, as I won't be able to physically see my interns and the NASA scientists and engineers, so they wanted a picture of me and my interests. So I sent that in, and then actually in June, end of May and starting in June, I received a module, which is module 4 of Mars and Beyond. So I'm learning whether humans can go live on Mars and how they can. And I started my first project, which was a presentation on why or why not I would go to Mars.
Of course, that is only one of many projects she will be doing at NASA, but how did she get to this point? Sayel says the journey to NASA began in grade 10 when she started to gain an interest in computer science.
I just took the course to see how it is, and I loved coding, and the language Python is so much fun to code in, so I coded so many different programs and games that I knew like this is something that I really love, as it also has kind of an application in math, and I love math. And then last year I went down to Boston, Massachusetts at Massachusetts Institute of Technology, one of the best schools for computer science and technology, and I went there I got accepted for a coding camp. So I went there for 2 weeks alone, lived there. It was the first time living alone, and I went for C++ game development with AI and algorithms, and it was a completely different language, but it was amazing. Like, I was with students from all around the world, from France, Lebanon, China, and I was with college professors from MIT, and I learned so much in 2 weeks. And then I knew that I wanted to advance my computer science skills, especially because I really love AI. So I was researching different internship opportunities in December, and I came across NASA. And I actually do have an interest in space, and I knew that NASA was just a great opportunity that would advance my skills, and I wanted to learn more about how AI and machine learning is being used within NASA's discoveries.
With that interest in computer science and artificial intelligence, Sayel is aware she is one of a few women in this male-dominated profession. However, she says getting into the STEM field as a woman is amazing.
They want to see more diversity. They don't see many women going in. So I always say to this that are people who are trying to be inspired, especially young females, you know, the only person that is stopping you from achieving your dreams is yourself. My teachers always just brought the best out of me, and they brought me so much confidence that without them, I wouldn't be where I am right now. And I truly believe that, you know, women should definitely consider the STEM field.
The NASA internship runs until August. Sayel says she hopes this experience could pave the way to hopefully work for NASA one day. Reporting for Cogeco News, I'm Melissa Candelaria.
Stay tuned. A severe thunderstorm watch remains in effect despite getting a downpour already late afternoon. Greg will have your weather picture right after this.
Weather is brought to you by Canadore College. Great things happen here.
Welcome back, everybody. Greg Estabrooks here with your weather on this Tuesday afternoon. It is cloudy. It is still humid. It is still warm. It's going to be sunny and warm for the rest of the week. The temperatures will stay in the 30s until the weekend, when there'll be a tiny break where the highs will be in the high 20s. And with the humidex, you could be nearing 40 degrees Celsius. Behind me, of course, as you can see, is the splash pad, one of the few above ground areas in this city where you can actually cool down. And the heat has been here for a while, and it's not going away. And we are here on this Tuesday to deliver the weather forecast for this day and the rest of the week. Now to the forecast overnight Tuesday. It is going to be partly cloudy. Decent chance of a shower or a thunderstorm with all this humidity, no surprise there. Some fog patches developing overnight, wind southwest 20 gusting to 40, then diminishing as the night progresses, low of 19. Wednesday, a mix of sun and cloud, clearing late in the morning, fog patches dissipating because of the heat. High of 30, humidex 36, UV index 9 or very high. Clear overnight Wednesday and a low of 18 degrees. Moving on to Thursday, look out. A mix of sun and cloud, small chance of a shower, 33. No prediction on the humidex just yet, but it's going to be close to 40. Well, there's a prediction. Cloudy overnight Thursday with a small chance of showers, 21 degrees. Friday, mix of sun and cloud, small chance of showers, 31. Small chance of a shower overnight Friday and a low of 18. Saturday, cloud, pretty good chance of a shower, high of 27. And cloudy overnight Saturday, pretty good chance of showers, low of 15. The normals 25 and 13, yeah, right. And the high on Monday was 29 and the low was 14. We'll have badminton and much more right after this in sports.
Sports is brought to you by Tag Construction for all your construction needs.
Welcome back to Cogeco News. It's time for sports and summer sports, mainly of the individual kind this year. There really isn't much choice. The Granite Club is the site of ongoing training with some major summer camps on the way, all the way to the end of July.
Not a lot of sports to talk about in the summer of 2020, but some individual sports are still going on. Badminton, as you can see, one of them, as these two talented youngsters do some training at the Granite Club facility. It is open for the summer. It will remain open until the end of August with big camps to come, but for now it's simply training.
You know, it's hit and miss overall, but we've had a lot of people kind of checking out the sport, a lot of new people we've never seen playing badminton and pickleball on the courts. You know, summer camps aren't where we want them to be, but we missed our biggest marketing during the school season, which didn't end up happening this year. But, you know, overall, we're happy with what we have so far.
You do have some bigger camps on the way, though.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a few camps at the end of July that are close to filling up, so around the 10 mark. And we do have our high-performance camps at the end of August, which will probably fill up for sure.
When you talk about the high-performance camps, are these kids just from North Bay, or will actually some out-of-town kids actually venture into the city to play?
So over the years, we've had people from out of town. We have a lot of Sudbury players, a few from Timmins, Elliott Lake as well. This year might be a bit different, but we tend to draw a crowd as one of the more competitive clubs in the north.
After, you know, your early fears about, you know, turnout, because everybody would have that kind of fear, how do you feel about it today as we are in, you know, into almost the first week of July is almost done?
It's interesting. At the end of the day, the crowds may not be as large as what they normally are. However, since there's less sports to play, especially like the team stuff, like people are trickling in, checking it out. Like I'd rather do this than nothing kind of mentality. So we're happy to go about it that way for sure.
And obviously these specially designed courts hold up very well on the cement.
Absolutely, they're pretty much meant to be played on or rolled out onto anything, and on the cement's pretty good because we already have the natural cushioning of the mats themselves.
A couple of talented high school players training on this day, one from North Bay. One makes it all the way from Mattawa 3 times a week to play, thanks to a generous and kind mother.
It's kind of bad because we got to start the season and didn't get to finish it because we got to do one tournament, but at least we get to play here and we get to do a tournament on the weekend, so it's nice to still get to play.
What kind of training do you do for badminton? Is it just play?
Well, you can come and drop in at play, but on Sundays we have practice where we actually train the whole time and work on our different shots and stuff.
Kind of like put us back on our training, kind of didn't let us like accelerate more and like kind of like learn from our mistakes and stuff. But yeah.
And what are you trying to do now? Are you still getting coached up here, or is it just more about staying in shape and staying sharp?
No, we're still getting coached. It's kind of like a preseason because most other clubs that we play in this area, they're not open. They don't have a club they can play in, so it's kind of like we have a preseason against them, which is kind of nice.
We have reached the conclusion of Cogeco News, but one more note before we leave you on this broadcast day. We want to let you know that Rotary Bingo goes through the dead heat of summer. You can get your cards tonight, you can get your cards tomorrow for the 7 p.m. game start of Rotary at Home TV Bingo. Support local initiatives through playing bingo. It's a win-win. That does it for Cogeco News. Greg Esterbrook's back at the news desk on Wednesday for more local news, weather, and sports live at 5. We'll see you then.